Why should I bother preparing food for you? You're not my own flesh and blood. I don't even consider you part of my family. Don't assume you can get too comfortable around me. And why are you even here in this house to begin with? I invited my son and granddaughter over so that I could spend some quality time with my real family. Can't you just leave us alone? Awkwardness permeated the living room of my parents-in-law's house. My mother-in-law, who always made it a point to disregard my presence whenever we crossed paths, was a constant source of frustration. But one day, as my daughter exclaimed, "Mommy, oh my God, it's Grandma," panic surged through me. I could see the distress in my daughter's eyes, and I anxiously asked her what had happened. I married my husband Peter when I was 25 and gave birth to my daughter Olivia when I was 29. After getting married, I left my job to become a full-time housewife. Now, at the age of 39, our family of 3 resides in the ranch apartment, leading a generally contented life. However, there is one significant problem that persists: a thorn in my side named Judy, Peter's mother. Her behavior towards me has consistently caused headaches and stress. Frankly speaking, she has been bullying me. She told me herself that she doesn't accept me as the white over song, although she did not outwardly oppose our marriage. I've been for various reasons, from the very beginning. She used to show up unannounced, forced herself inside a house, and complained about the way that I did housework and the haste of my cooking. Before I came pregnant with Olivia, she made unreasonable demands that I have to give birth to a boy. Then she would bring her word-out tater clothes to me, saying, look good on you." She even sent me health-rotten vegetables on COD without my permission. In short, she has done pretty much everything that most people would cope baiting. What keeps me sane is that Peter and Olivia are always on my side when their Peter 5 fights. Me being bullied by Judy, he always intervenes. Olivia tells her, "I don't like it when you speak out with my mom." When Jody talks bad about me, when I go to my in-laws' house, she says something sarcastic about me. Even in front of Brian, my father-in-law. Every time he scouts her now to say such things, she never minded and continues to torment me as if he was part of her daily routine. One day Olivia came home from school with a gloomy look on her face. Normally she cheerfully shouted, "Mom, I'm home," at the front door, but she was silent. "Hey sweetie, you're home. What's wrong? Did something happen? Are you sick?" "Hey, Mom, nothing. I'm fine." She brushed it off, but continued to look as if she was in the state of the thought. After that, she was always smiling and cheerful, so they bothered me very much. I knew she was at a sensitive age and they didn't want to pass her, but I couldn't just leave it at that. Peter had to work late that day, so it was going to be just the 2 of us at dinner. I thought she would talk to me then. When she was slowly eating her bottle of mac and cheese, I started the conversation. "I'm worried about you when you say you're okay. It's often not the case. I'll never tell anyone and won't get angry no matter what happens. I'm always on your side. Can you tell me what happened?" She put down the fork and remained silent for a while. Then she made up her mind and opened her mouth. She began to explain as ridiculously as a 10-year-old could. She went to play with the friends at her house, which was a 15-minute drive from ours after school. She sometimes went there and her friend's mom draw her back afterward on the way home. When the car stopped at the traffic lights, she saw Judy working arm-in-arm with a young man. She didn't know she even saw them kissing. As soon as she realized it was her grandmother, she ducked down not to be seen. I couldn't believe my ears had that completely unexpected story. The idea of her being vaccinated with another man in plain sight close to where we live was so abominable. He must have been traumatizing to witness such a scene for a 10-year-old as so third, and suggest that she take an Oma bath. In the meantime, I went to the corner grocer and brought her Faye ice cream. Normally I would not give her sweets before bed, but it was unlike any other day. She was looking gloomy for a long time. But she cheered up a little, bouncing the package, and by the time she finished eating, she was almost back to her normal self still. I knew her innocent heart was broken. I told myself to keep a close eye on her for a while. Then Peter came home tired from work less than half an hour after Olivia went to sleep. I thought it was a clue to tell him that his mother was having an affair with a young man. But I could not keep it from him. I taught him exactly what Olivia had told me. He was enjoying his spirit in the living room. But when he heard the story, he covered his mouth with a hand and ran to the kitchen. He came back with woolly step and mumbled weakly. Seriously, I could feel his pain and disgusted when he calmed down. We discussed our plans. What are we going to do about that? Shouldn't we let Brian know? Well, we can't just leave it like this. If we were to tell him we need to gather more evidence, I worry that she could make excuses if we only have a Olivia story. I agree with him. We decided to ask a private investigator to look into Judy's infidelity. I was impressed by the work of a professional. The investigator gathered evidence photos in no time after I requested them. There was a picture of Judy dressed inappropriately of her age, embracing a young man. It was a sight I didn't want to see, but I had no choice but to confirm it. The investigator also found the identity of the young man. He was a college student who actively looked for older women. Judy had been contributing a considerable amount of money to him. There was also a photo of them entering a designer's brand boutique. He didn't look like adultery, but rather she was being swindled by the young man. Anyway, there was no doubt of infidelity. And she must have been aware that it was cheating on her part. We got concrete evidence to trap her in. We weren't going to let her get away with it. The only thing left was when to tell Brian. While Peter and I were waiting for the right moment, Judy called him asking him to come over on the weekend. That was great timing. If I went there, she'll most likely find a way to bully me. I was certain of that from my past experiences. If they were the case, I could expose everything. Then who would be laughing in the end? The weekend had arrived. I was usually pressed about visiting Judy, but I couldn't wait to see her that day. I could finally rebuild her, Eat what I was. Imagine this and that. My family and I arrived at my in-laws' house as soon as we parked the car. Judy opened the front door with a smile on her face. "Oh, you're here. Hi, Peter and Olivia. Welcome. I prepared a delicious lunch and it's waiting for you. Come on in." As I had expected, her bullying started right away. She acted as if I were not there. She turned her back on me and didn't make eye contact. Even thought I was annoyed by her baldness. I tried to think it wasn't a big deal and called myself. Peter was about to say something to her. But I stopped him. We needed to be patient. It wasn't better to let her carry it on with it and then knocked her down. When we were in the living room, Brian was sitting on the sofa watching TV. "Oh, Amelia, Olivia and Peter, welcome. Nothing exciting here, but make yourself at home." He always called my name first. It might have been nothing to him, but he always made me very happy as I exchanged greetings with him. Judy happily said, "We got a delivery for lunch. Come on. That's it. Together. I'm sure the food is delicious." She laid out a plate on the dining table. The lunch was Thai food. There was a papaya salad, pad Thai green curry, tom yum soup, and so on. Make sure looked delicious, but I was allergic to coriander. Judy, of course, knew that. "You know, Judy, I'm allergic to coriander, right?" "I'm sorry, but I can't eat most of them," she answered. I know that dismissively. Then words began to pour from her lips. Us thought a dam inside her had broken. "I don't need you to tell me what you are allergic to. I didn't count you in for lunch anyway." My family is only 4 of us: Brian, Peter, Olivia, and me. Why should I prepare food for you? Why are you even here? I invited Peter and Olivia to come over. What an inconsiderate person you are. She was unstoppable. Let me make this clear, Amelia, you should be ashamed of yourself for being a help-hearted housewife who doesn't even do housework and sits idled all day long. You shouldn't just take advantage of the kite and hard-working Peter. I mean, you don't work and you neglect your housework. What do you do all day, every day? You are not having an affair with some guy, are you? Ugh, who knows? Me having an affair, who was talking? Peter, who was standing next to me, gave out the ground of this May. Well, it was about time. I couldn't believe she brought up the perfect subject herself. I asked Peter if I could bring it up. He nodded enthusiastically. Not only had she been nasty to me, but she had traumatized Olivia. I was going to make her pay for all of that. I took out the photo evidence from my bag and handed it not to Judy, but to Brian. They looked at the pictures in confusion. At first, both of them seemed not to understand what they're looking at, but as soon as they realized their faces changed color, Brian's turned red and Judy turned white. I was amazed by the contrast. What are this as you see? Judy's having an affair with these young men. Olivia saw them together. She suspected me of having an affair, but it seemed she was just talking about herself. No, that's not true. I'm not having an affair with Justin. It's purely, Judy was so panicked that she blurred out young man's name. Brian got angrier and shouted. Who's Justin? I heard you brought a lot of things for him. A total of about a couple thousand. No, I think it's more like a couple of 10,000. Your housewife too. So where in the world did that money came from? It can be the money Brian has earned. Can it? Oh, you're so bad. You shouldn't take advantage of his kindness. I took the opportunity to press hard on her. Judy was horrified and even thought her mouth was moving. Nowhere came out of it. She probably never thought that I would talk back to her mom. That's been so good to you, hasn't he? Why do you have to cheat on him? I am ashamed of you for not only bullying Amelia, but doing unspeakable things behind his back. You don't love Grandpa. I feel sorry for him. I don't like you. Grandma Peter and Olivia was bland her harshly. I knew something was fishy. You've been sneaking out day and night lately, a check bank account, and felt that you had been doing drawing little by little. I never thought that you were having an affair with such a young man. Brian shook his head in disbelief, pushed to the edge. Judy somehow rebounded and lifted her chin in defiance. What I do is none of your business. I will live my life the way I want to. Brian erupted with anger at her attitude and shouted at her to get out of the house. His fury didn't subside after that, and the two ended up filing for a divorce. Judy had no income and no savings, so she could no longer contribute to her beloved Justin. He simply abandoned her. How did I find out? Judy told me herself. She was so desperate that she turned to us and stormed into our house. She hoped that we sympathize with her if we need her devastation. I only have you to rely on, Peter. I can't get in touch with Justin anymore. Please. I apologize to you too, Amelia. I don't trust you anymore. Why don't you just live your life the way you want to? Like you said before, not my business. Of course. We had no sympathy for her. I will never forgive her for traumatizing Olivia. Eventually, we called the police to remove her. Brian had gone around telling all the relatives that Judy had an affair and that she bullied me, so she couldn't rely on them either. I heard that she was living alone in a Shea apartment and continued to pay alimony. She has truly brought this on herself. On the other hand, Brian decided to move in with us since he became alone. He's proven to be even better with children than I had anticipated. He takes Olivia to various places on the weekends, and they both genuinely enjoy each other's company. It seems like Olivia is gradually moving past the impact of Judy's presence. Moreover, he willingly helps me with the housework, expressing his concern for not contributing his fair share. Initially, I had to guide him step by step, but now he can handle everything on his own and even cooks dinner for us. Thanks to his support, I am now able to venture out and work part-time. It took me some time to readjust to working after a long break, but I find joy in being outside of the home. I am even contemplating obtaining a certification in a particular field. Since Brian moved in with us, I can genuinely feel the quality of our lives improving. He stood up for me when Judy mistreated me and continues to provide unwavering support in countless ways. Judy truly made a foolish mistake by betraying such a kind-hearted man. I've learned from my own past errors the importance of not succumbing to immediate desires and instead being grateful for the happiness I have now.